So yes, welcome everyone to the DJ Force X podcast this week. I have a very special guest. I have S.a.n.g.r.e from the band Red Method. Welcome, S.a.n.g.r.e.
Hey, respect for having me, man.
Absolute, my pleasure. Like I said before I hit record, I've been following you guys for a few years now. Just sort of watching you kind of from afar. But I saw you guys at the Takedown Festival in Portsmouth a couple of years ago. I just caught you guys on stage. I think I was at side of stage for some of it, and then backstage, and then I was there as one of Total Rock's representatives, so I had all access pass, which was nice.
Nah.
So seeing you guys obviously all decked out in red paint and all that kind of stuff, I was very much intrigued, and I really enjoyed your set. Um,
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was when Sleep Token headline, didn't it?
yes, it
Yeah,
was.
that's
Yeah,
the one. Yeah,
yeah.
it was that festival was great for us. The response was unbelievable for us. I don't think people were expecting us to come out there like like the way we did, and just covered in, like you said, war paints and
Yeah.
red, and and really go down heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
like totally, like kind of like I went into that main hall and I was just like, oh, who is this? Like, this is amazing. Because I was like going, like I say, as there as a press representative from Total Rock who sponsored the outside stage, but I was
yeah,
going around taking footage of other stages, just literally walking around the venue. I just happened to see you guys, and I've been following you ever since, which is great. Like it's been great, like going back and like listening to your album.
no,
Um,
and respect
for the, is it For the Sick? I think it was called.
for the sick. Yeah,
Yeah, For the Sick, and then you did the reworked it a year
yeah,
after.
yeah. That
Uh,
was pretty much all through COVID, really.
yes, yeah, I was going to say it was like that was a COVID release. So
Yeah.
seeing you guys in 23, it was like, obviously all that sort of pent up wanting to play this album was there. You could see the energy that was kind of coming out of it and everything. But you guys just released a new single after a
Yeah.
few years, after it's now obviously 2025, but it came out end of last year. And it is called All for One and None for All.
Yep, that's the one.
And you've got the guy from Bloodywood featuring
Yeah,
the guest
yeah, yeah.
that
We
track.
got we got him some doing some guest vocals. So yeah, that was quite fun to do it, for him and for us to do a collaboration, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's another band I've been following for quite a while now, and I'm gagging to get them on the show at some point. I think with their next album cycle, I probably, hopefully, will. But I came close before. But no, how did that come about? Because obviously, them being in India, you being here in the UK, and like, getting that kind of like getting to work together on that front. How did that come about?
Yeah, so basically, I tell you, we our previous band, Metastasis, before we started Red Method, we were named Metastasis, and we did about 3 tours in India.
Oh, right.
We toured with Behemoth and back in the day and stuff. And I think they came to one of our shows. They were there in our shows with Behemoth and watching us. And since then, I think the guitarist stayed in touch with one of them. And then when we played Bloodstock main stage, they were after us. I think they were. Yeah, they were after us, and that's when we started talking, and we were backstage and was like, we were talking about doing a collab together, and bringing in that kind of, because we've been in India with them, and
Hmm.
we got that those kind of big groove vibes. Would have been good to just do something together. You know what I mean? And do something, show that kind of different culture, and but we can mix it and all that. So that's how it came round. And then we stayed in touch. Obviously, sent him an email, and boom, immediately he sent some vocals back. Our producer got it. Scott Atkins from Cradle of Filth and Monomath and all that.
Yep.
He got his vocals and dropped it. It got his best bits and whacked it in the mix, and there you go. And then we All for One, None for All was finished really.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. You managed to keep that kind of like relationship with them through obviously previous band, and then obviously keeping, at least keeping in touch, and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then
Yeah,
obviously working together, which is like it's amazing itself. Like I say, I love Bloodywood. Like they're a band I always like recommend to people. It's like if they want that kind of vibe, because like everyone like at work generally, I've got a multicultural sort of station at work.
yeah, yeah.
And I listen to a lot of rock and metal, and the other guys don't, and they're like, oh, is there anything like that kind of crosses over? And it's like, yeah, I got this. I got this for you. I got, and I like, go down like, you tour with Breed 77. It's another one. Like, got that kind of like span or Gibraltar kind of vibe to it, the flamingo vibe.
Yeah. I
And
tell, I
yeah,
can tell you a little story about Breed 77.
go for it.
When we were obviously in tour, but I've known them obviously since I was a kid, and reason is really is because the bass player Stuart Gavigia is my cousin.
All
So
right, nice.
we constantly together, regardless, whether it's music or not. We like family. We are out, and about, together all the time. And when we were on tour, we said it a few times on on stage, and people were like, "What is that real?" This, what I mean? Because are they actually? But obviously, I'm from Gibraltar, what I mean, and a lot of people know already anyway. But I guess it's the wider circle, probably we're more kind of, is that true actually, or but yeah, it is my cousin. I'm very close to Danny, the guitarist, and Paul, and they're all from Gibraltar, my country. I see them all, when I go back, see my family, they're there, and I grew up listening to Breed, and they took me under their wing when I was young, and I came to UK, 23 years ago, and when they were touring everywhere with El Nino, and I was with them all the time as roadies and stuff. So, we've grown together, I guess, and it was a tour that we really wanted it to happen from years ago, what I mean? And I had, I was in Ted Moore, then I was in Metastasis, and then it could never, we never got the right time for it.
Yeah.
So eventually this time, what I mean, because we've got a bit more so kind of that kind of culture-y kind of, I guess, flamenco bits in some intros of the songs, and we got acoustic guitars and stuff in the new album. So I guess we thought, it could work together nicely, I mean? Although we're heavier, and they're obviously more on the rock, more on the rock side, but I think it works really nicely. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's a nice compliment and a nice vibe to it in general. Both bands came from the same place, basically.
It's no breed special place in my heart, breed. Like back in the day, we may have even crossed paths. We may have done. I was in a band back in the early 2000s, and we played quite a few shows with Breed actually. I think, well, I'll say quite a few, it's about 3 or 4. We never toured directly with them, played a lot of festivals
Yeah,
alongside them, played in various venues in and around this area at least, and in London, I think as well. If I try, it becomes a blur at one point, but I remember watching them so many times over the years. And yeah, no, that's great. Obviously, the connection right there. And you mentioned Ted Moore as well. I'm like, oh my
yeah,
God. Like, I wish I'd done my proper research. I may have found all this out. But
yeah.
um,
Ted Moore. I don't remember anything of Ted Moore really. We toured for about 10 years, and we toured
yeah,
with every every big band out there, like God forbid, Dayside, Morbid Angel, and we never even posted anything online. We didn't even give a shit. We were just, doing our things. We couldn't even be bothered. We thought like social media was anyway, not
yes.
for us basically.
No,
And
no, it's but like I remember that. I remember Ted Moore. I mean, the mainly because the name is the news presenter, created by Chris Morris, and I
that's
love
it,
all things Chris Morris.
Chris Morris.
Um, so Brass Eye, Day to Day, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
and like Ted Moore reports, and that's where immediately when I saw the name, I loved and listened to the band. I'm like, this is great. I love it. So this is great as well. So this is great for me to find out. Like, because like I say,
small world.
back again, we may have crossed paths back then as well. So it's like it's a weird kind of connection there. I like that. This is great. When you mentioned Scott Aitken, is that Scott Aitken from Stanford? That's yeah. Okay. Okay, there. So this is all coming together. This British new metal scene thing, hardcore scene as it was as well. Back
Yeah, yeah.
that
When
that late 90s, early 2000s.
yeah, yeah, and they're back now. They're going to be playing Damnation. I can't say something. I can't. I can say something, but I just say it. I don't.
Yeah, go on.
Basically, we've got also Adam from Stomping Ground doing a guest vocals in our new record. But there's more to things, but we can't because we're self-releasing everything.
Yeah.
We bypass the labels. We've wasted too much time with some major labels, and we're just like, you know what? Let's just get this out.
Yeah.
Let's go independent. Let's do it all ourselves. We've been building a nice fan base over the years. Let's do it. Let's not play the same game as a lot of bands do, and then
Yeah.
they get trapped basically.
Yeah.
So we've kept on pushing and pushing, but yeah, Adam's on that in that record as well, and it's a brutal track. It's and Scott Atkins from Stamping Ground,
Mm.
he's phenomenal. He's like one of the best producers in
Yeah.
UK. I mean, hands down, the guy will literally squeeze the life out of you beyond and back, like, and nobody else would. Like, he's next level. His ears are like literally super bionic master, these kind of things that will hear the most intricate things that other people don't hear. He's very good, and he's a very close. I'm very close to Scott Atkins. I've done 3 albums with him now, so not actually 4. So we go back from Metastasis days, all the way to the Red Method. So I'm very close to him, basically. So we keep in touch a lot.
Cool. No, I mean, it's again, he's one. It's a legend of that scene, and obviously going into being a producer and everything, much like Justin from Sick and stuff like that. Just like that, kind of like that route into that side of it, and like listening to some of their work. I mean, I'm just looking at Scott's discography now, actually, the what he's worked on, and I'm like, yeah, I've heard probably at least 80% of those albums, and they're all fantastic. So it's like plenty of Silosis, Gamma Bomb, like you already mentioned, Cradle of Filth. There's your Metastasis right there. But yeah, no, it's yeah, that's awesome. Like just having that all like kind of collectively in. But with obviously, you releasing independently and everything like that. And what is the plan for an album? Is there a potential release date in mind, or are you kind of just going to do single, and then
At the moment, we probably go down the single route because it's.
I think you've got your finger in front of the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. I think at the moment we're going down the single route because in this day and age, it's really not worth putting an album out there.
Yeah.
Just especially when you're independent. Our new album has cost us £15,000. You know what I mean? It's quite. It's not the 6,000 that you do it in your mate's house. You know what I mean? Round the corner. You know what I mean? And you sample all the drum kit and all that kind of stuff. It's quite. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And one thing how we know how this how it works when you release music is once it's out is out. You
Yeah.
it's lost. It's lost to the internet, and if you're not promoting it and pushing it, it's gone. You know what I mean? Unless, and if you don't have a major label pushing that, hard, it dilutes and disappears, and then you've lost, a whole album. So one thing we did for the Sick that we really really we benefited from it massively was we pretty much did a single for every song, of the album, and we released in COVID times, and it was after 3 years. We were playing already Download and Bloodstock and all that, main stages, and we did benefit from it a lot. However, we're trying to do things a little bit different this time, but I think we're still going down the route of giving the songs as much as we can visually and in interpretation. Basically, it's we don't want to just put the album out and then release 2 singles or 3, and then 4 years time come back, release another album, and keep that kind of. We want to make it like art. We want to give this layers, and we want to give it life in itself. The song. So we're taking our time. We're doing it. We're not under any pressure or stress, as long as it's capturing the essence of what we want in every of the album. It's the main factor of it, the main, I guess, magic behind what we want to release. It's not going to be released. It is going to equate, I guess, to an album at the end of the cycle that we've got for this record, but it's going to be released in 2 halves. Basically.
Okay.
Then eventually the 2 halves will come together. And I don't want to say too much on that bit because there's like little surprises on the way.
Yeah.
But it will be basically soon. There'll be half released with some singles, and after that there'll be more basically
Nice.
with another half and more singles.
Excellent.
Eventually completing one product in itself.
Excellent, excellent. And I look forward to hearing the rest of it. Like, obviously,
Thank you, buddy.
you know, get that coming down the line. Obviously, we're going off the one track at the moment. That track you released with the with Bloodywood is it's a great track. It's very heavy, like
Thank you.
really brutal, which is great. And yeah, I love it. I love it. It's great. But you guys got some tour dates coming up and some like gig dates and stuff. We already like kind of you got one tomorrow, in fact, which is no good for this podcast because this won't be out for a couple of weeks. So, um, but you are playing in Nottingham. So if anyone went to that show, I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, no, you got a couple of gigs in March. I can see here. You're playing in Reading,
Yeah.
the Bass
So we,
Bar.
yeah.
Which is I actually DJ there a rock night on a
Really?
a monthly basis.
Yeah.
So I know that venue. I'm actually DJing the week before, so I'll make sure to push that when I'm DJing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Oh,
you're playing, yeah, no worries. And you're playing Cambridge day after that as
yeah.
well.
So we are with our buddies in the 500.
Yep.
That they're getting the album launch, so they gave us a shout and they're like, look, could you guys come out with us again? And obviously we always kind of do a family run because they're from Gibraltar as well. There's two of my mates are from Gibraltar as well. So each like year or two we do a little run together. We're
Nice.
gonna make it longer, but it didn't wasn't very convenient for us for different
Okay.
logical reasons. Um, but yeah, we basically have tomorrow in Nottingham. Then we got March. We have the Friday the 14th in Reading, Saturday the 15th in Cambridge, bar 666 or 66, yeah.
Yep.
And we in April we got a tour with Embryonic
Yeah.
Autopsy, which is from Tim from Soil,
Yep.
side project. So they're traveling from US, and we got about I think it's 8 dates or 7 dates in April.
Yep.
So that should be good. Starting from Scotland, I think, or something like that.
Hmm.
So we got posters out, socials, and all that.
Yeah, no, I've got the dates in front of me. We can
Yeah,
you're playing in Glasgow, Manchester, Coventry, Bridgewater, Norwich, Bournemouth, and London, and that runs
yeah.
from the 17th of April to the 25th.
Mm.
So
And then we've also got we headlining Primordial, the
yeah,
big band as well, which
yep,
is going to be good, really good for us. There's a couple of festivals that we're headlining, which it hasn't been announced yet.
okay,
So I probably wouldn't say much about it till they announce it. I guess just to pay respect
fair
to
enough.
them. But
Yeah,
yeah, there's a few of them that house already they have already booked us. So yeah, it
nice.
should be good. There's also some talks now with an agency and which they have big name as well behind it. So we're just experimenting with that and see where it takes us, I
Yeah,
guess. And if it is worth it for us as well.
yeah. Obviously, you got to make sure it's worth it and stuff. So, but no, that's fantastic. Like I said, I might even try and make the Reading date actually, because like I said, I work in Reading, but I DJ in Reading at the Face Bar specifically as well. So I know the venue, I know where it is. There's no excuse for me really not to be there. Um,
Come down, we'll put you in the guest list, man.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'll let you know if I can definitely make it. So, yeah, I'm gonna check my diary and everything just to make sure I can first. But I might even be work at that day, so I might just go there afterward.
Oh,
So that's all good. But no, yeah, that's fantastic. Obviously, I'm looking forward to sort of like seeing what you guys do when it comes to future music and stuff like that. And obviously, the connection that kind of when I was back in the music scene and all that kind of stuff, this is great. It kind of gives me more impetus to really kind of, you know, follow in and like a lot of that kind of like, obviously your connection with the Gibraltar side of things with Breed, obviously the 500. I don't know if you knew Glenn from 1 Minute Silence and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Danny pretty well. He came to the tour actually with us, and he was there head banging his way out from one of the shows. Yeah, yeah, he's
Nice.
great. So,
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I've got a couple of questions left for you. I'll
and,
let you get
sorry, my Glenn Diani. Glenn Diani.
Indiana, yes, yes, yes. But yeah, I've got a couple of questions left for you. If that's all right.
Go
Um,
for it.
I'll let you get on the rest of your evening. But what I want to find out from you is your three most pivotal records. So not necessarily your favorite or best records like that you've heard, but ones that kind of like when you were younger, you heard it, like your parents played it to you or your brother or whoever played it to you, and you wanted to get into music because of it. You wanted to become a singer. You wanted to get into heavy music, or how you discovered heavy music and stuff like that. If you can pinpoint three, like records can be just a track or it can be an album, either way. But yeah, I'm just interested to sort of see where your origins lie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, I was very young. I must have been 8 or 7 or 6 or something like that. And I remember my dad just playing Europe. It's the final countdown to the dancing.
Yes. Yes.
And I got obsessed with it. I just literally, I told my dad, I was singing it so much. And then when my dad played other stuff on the car, I was like, no, 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 put that one back, put that one back. And we used to, drive through Spain.
Yeah.
And mum, used to say, you just want to that, you just want to like the final countdown, like on repeat for hours and hours. And if you didn't, you will get in a stroppy mood, and you'll be like, ah. And so that's, I think, not that is my favorite now, but I think a pivotal moment for me to realize that what's that, those guitars, what's that voice, those chords, that kind of catchy hook. I guess that changed me a lot basically. And then I obviously carried on, when I guess experimenting or looking for stuff. In Gibraltar, there was nothing. There was only one record shop in main town, and you had some rock stuff, but at the time I still remember they had Iron Maiden. I think they had Led Zeppelin. They had Def Leppard. Nothing too much. They had
Yeah.
Slayer,
Yep.
and then I saw Alice in Chains,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
And that's it. That changed my life. That changed my whole. That was what I was looking for. I mean,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
listening to Iron Maiden and listening to, I loved Slayer. I mean, Slayer for changed also my. But I don't know that when I heard Alice in Chains, Facelift and Dirt, like that's it. I was like, wow, this is really deep. This is really deep. And since then, that's one of the only albums I listen to now. Really, so
Okay.
I got I listen to metal, but not as what I used to when my teenagers and 20s and 30s. I think after 40, I'm kind of because I've written so much metal, like I've almost kind of got a little bit like, you know what, and I'd rather listen to something else. And I listen to brutal stuff still, but more kind of origins, kind of Sepultura, late, early Sepultura, Dayside, Morbid Angel,
Yeah.
kind of that kind of vibe, Hate Eternal, that kind of early 90s,
Yeah.
late 80s death metal. Like, it was just raw. It was real, raw. The guys are having it there. It's what it is. It's what's in tape. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so yeah. I mean, but that's me basically. I still love all my technical stuff and technical death metal, and I like listening to new modern bands as well here and there. But it's different. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't get overly obsessed with it. They don't hook me in. I think there's a small bit of in my heart that has a big soul bit, and it needs, if it doesn't touch that bit, no matter how good still the band is, and I acknowledge them. Yeah, fucking amazing. They're brilliant, but I can't. I just don't, get into it. You know what I mean? And I respect it and support it and everything, but it's not like other certain bands, I guess.
Oh,
For me,
that's cool. I
I
mean,
guess everybody's different, and
yeah,
everybody's got their own.
exactly. I mean, like the Final Countdown for me, that was the first vinyl record I ever owned. I mean, like I had that 12-inch basically. And yeah, that's what that track means to me. Like I say, it's not like my most favorite track in the world anymore. But again, it was one of those things of like I owned that when I was young. But yeah, Alice in Chains as well, fantastic. Like you're right, it's got soul, it's got the heaviness, and it's just one of those bands that kind of changed like especially within that grunge scene.
Oh man, massive, yeah,
Yeah, they were just like even like beyond that, it's just kind
yeah,
of like their albums are like I recently picked up was it Jar of Flies, the reissue on vinyl. I just love listening to that. Like
Oh man, I just that's what I have in my car every day. I
yeah,
I turn the car on, Jar of Fly comes out, or Dirt, or
yep.
any of their albums. I mean, even the new stuff, I still love the new stuff still, but
Mm.
it's almost on repeat that still for me. And yeah, it's just I guess you get you're getting, everybody goes into music differently.
Yeah,
And we
definitely.
have our own ways and views and of it. And yeah, I think another one was for me as well was the Eye of the Tiger.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That one as well. I really, that was very early. I think it was very little. And I just remember listening to it, and there was another one that my mum said, that I just wanted it in repeat. And
yeah.
I have the CD or the tape at the time of it. So I was trying to look for it all the time in movies and stuff, and just rewind it, listen to the track, and then because it's some movie, I don't remember what movie it is now, I've forgotten, but they had it at the end of the song, or they have it in between the song
Yeah.
when they're training and stuff. Sylvester Stallone or something in Rocky. I'm not sure. I can't remember myself, but
Yeah,
I
it
think
is Rocky.
Rocky. You know, they have it.
Yeah, it is Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just rewind it all the time. Just listen.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. But finally, what are your hobbies away from Red Method and things like that? What do you do to kind of like unwind, or what are your sort of like passions outside of the band?
Mm. Well, in the last year, I made a big drastic change in my life. I had very, you could say, bad habits.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, to the point where I had to sort a lot of things out
Yeah.
basically, and I did I had to change a lot of things, and I figured out that I had to replace the intensity of my bad habits into something, channel it into something positive. So I took on MMA
Oh no.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and kickboxing, basically martial arts, but MMA.
Yeah.
So now I'm training 4 days a week with MMA, kickboxing, Krav Maga, and I took painting. As you can see, I've gone working on a painting up there. I've got Ragnar from the Vikings. I'm painting as well.
Nice.
So it's not. It's only got 2 sessions, that one, but
Yeah.
I got that weird old man there. So yeah, so I took these things just to calm me down and to try and channel myself in a more positive light, and it's made drastic changes in my health
Brilliant.
and way of being. I guess my way of being. Quite a loose cannon always. I've always been there. Still got a few loose screws here and there, but
Don't we all?
you know what I mean. I guess, and yeah, but I'm happy that I did that change. So I
Nice.
think that's the end. After New Year, I changed a lot of things and started painting. I can't. Basically, I've gone a 360 because when I was 15, when I was all the way from I was 10 to 13, 14, I'm doing exactly the same as what I was doing before. I used to do Thai boxing and I used to
Yeah.
paint, and I stopped all that for music basically. And I
Okay.
got the touring, the lifestyle,
Yep.
it took me to different, I guess, paths and avenues, and it becomes, you start to inherit or take, a lot of bad habits
Yeah.
along, and it's something that I'm very proud of. A lot of
Nice.
things.
Yeah. No, well done. Well done. That's good. Like to take that, like, obviously, make that lifestyle change and be
Yeah,
able to channel it to multiple things. Like you've obviously got your MMA side of it, which, I know that's great for people. Like I've got a lot of people who do like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
yeah,
kind of things. And was it the Krav Maga that you mentioned recently? I only
yeah.
recently found out what that was.
So that
Um,
Krav Maga is partly jiu-jitsu as well. So they,
yeah.
kind of nearly 50% of it, 60% of that. But here, you see, here I am drinking water. Would have had probably a whiskey before. Yeah,
But yeah, no, I had a guest on the show. I think it was last year. I'm trying to remember who it was, but he did it as well, the Krav Maga stuff. And it was the guy from Zebrahead. Um, I can't remember his name, but he's got an impressive mustache. I forget.
let's have a
Yeah,
lot of time here.
yeah, he's got this like, but he does that, and he said it's really good for him as well. Like just sort
It,
of,
it's savage. I mean, getting
yeah,
Krav
said
Maga
it,
it's a
but
world itself. But
I've seen some of the injuries my friends have got from like the Brazilian jiu-jitsu and everything. So
one of the I've got, you can maybe can't see it, but I've got like a bruise underneath my eye here. I'm constantly the back of my eye, especially my ears, cauliflower ears. I'm already starting some of it. But I wouldn't change it for anything because I need that intensity. I need
yeah,
to safe. I need to feel challenged. I need to feel almost like pushed to the limit. And it's just an adrenaline thing that runs through my body,
yeah,
and that is keeping me, going for now. So
that's awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Well done. Well, S.a.n.g.r.e, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything Red Method. I will try and catch you guys in March. It's only a month and a half away in Reading. So anyone else watching this, come see me, come see them, um, in Reading, or any else when they're on the embryonic autopsy tour as well. I'm sure people will be good to see that one, and obviously the Primordial Big Bang Festival. That's a huge one, and then any other ones that you do actually announce.
Yeah, we
Obviously,
will be into three festivals that we've headlined in some of the stage, one of the stages. So
yeah,
just keep in touch, or for them to look, and socials. There'll be a
nice.
lot. I think next 2006 will be much more
Yeah,
if if things shape up the way we want to. So yeah, it'll be busy. It'll be very busy.
cool.
New
Well,
music.
excellent. Thank you very much, man. Have a good rest of your evening.
Respect.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having me.